Rutland High School is taking education to a new level, working outside of textbooks and the internet to connect its students with issues on a global scale. This year's keynote speaker had a particular connection to students at the Global Issues Network Conference, showing firsthand how they too can make a difference and educate others on a global scale through the power of their voice. The morning session kicked off with keynote speaker Zach Ingrassi. His latest film, Salam Neighbor, looks at the Syrian refugee crisis from inside a UN refugee camp.
The thing that I hope most that comes out of this conference today is that people realize that they have a huge role to play in combating these global issues. And what I realize is something they can start so small as even just hearing the story of a refugee can spark an entire journey for someone. And for me, that's happened. So starting out with, hearing Rauf's story about how his school was bombed and how he couldn't go back to school and he had to deal with this trauma has launched us into a world tour with a film. And I think it's, just realizing that you can start small and do big things from there.
This new film is the second for Ingrassi. His first, Living on $1, explores what it's like to live on $1 a day in Guatemala. That film is part of a social studies unit taught here at Rutland High.
We reached out to him because his first film is part of our civics and economics curriculum, Living on One in Guatemala, living on $1 a day. And so we kind of knew him on the screen. And I started to follow him because I was also teaching a section of civics and economics this year. And I started to follow him and I found out that they had this new film. And I said, oh my gosh, this is timely. We need to inspire our kids, maybe get a different perspective. It's a hot button issue. And we reached out to him and he was able to come. And we're thrilled because he's of proximate age. He started his activism when he was in college and our kids are just there. So we're hoping that he'll inspire them to take action and not wait.
Having someone that's a near-peer connection, somebody that's relatively close, they can see themselves in his shoes in like 3, 4, 5 years down the road, it's really inspiring for our students. When we told them that he was going to be the keynote, they were so excited because his films are actually shown as part of our social studies curriculum. And so they already sort of knew him, and it's also the way that he's able to communicate with them, understanding the language or just the way that he functions in the world. They can relate to it, and it's more like having a conversation with somebody rather than listening to somebody who's already done something and had a legacy. And so I think every time we can make these connections that our students can see themselves in their roles is a powerful message.
During morning breakout sessions, students explored topics ranging from recycling to the role of girls and women in global issues. Capstone students at RHS also served as presenters. They spoke on topics they've spent the year researching, including drug-addicted babies, Alzheimer's disease, and hiding behind a username. Projects like this can be a launching pad for students who want to not only research a problem, but look for ways to fix it. That's exactly what Zach Ingrassi has done with his latest film.
Having the opportunity to dive deep into an issue is really important because the reality is we often just see the surface level, right? If we just look at the news doesn't have the opportunity to really talk a lot in depth about an issue, and something like a documentary or an expert is such a cool way of learning more.
The idea is that we want our students to not just know book content or things that you could find on the internet, but how are you going to deal with these issues and how are you going to take action and move forward from that. So today is all about our students learning about the issues that are out there, but then more than that, it's about moving forward and how am I going to make a difference, how am I going to make a change. And that can happen at a local level, could happen at a national level or a global level. But the fact that we want our students to be engaged in the conversation and a part of the solution.
Organizers and presenters alike hope students leave the conference with one takeaway.
They can make a difference, and they should start tomorrow.